Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back to make another quilt for our quilt block party. If you are new to this series, I will have a link for the playlist down below. You can get caught up. I am making 20 quilt blocks that are cohesive, that can be made into a quilt or can be used in any way someone wants. My plan is to try selling just the blocks on eBay for this particular series. For those of you who have asked me to put this together myself so you can see how to put it together, I will be doing that in some future quilt block series. Not with this one. This one I want to just unload those 20 blocks. I don't think I'd ever want to make a quilt that big. But like I said, I will be showing you some other ways to use these quilt blocks. You can always use them in tote bags too. You don't have to make an entire quilt. You can do just about anything you want. But be sure you subscribe and then you will catch all my tips as we go. Alright, I am going to try something once again different. Partly, mostly, I think, that I made up in my mind because I've not ever seen anyone do like a crazy quilt block this way. But I am going to do a 9-patch, but we're going to do it part off the foundation and part on the foundation. So let's just get started and hopefully it will make more sense as we go. I am working on a 13-inch block, so I'm going to make my pattern that you'll be seeing me make in a minute 15 inches. I'm going to go 2 inches bigger than the block because I'm going to need to allow for some seam allowances. Plus, I just want to make sure that it fully covers my foundation piece. So whatever size foundation you're working with, just go 2 inches bigger to make your pattern. Now for my pattern, I'm just using a page of a flyer. That way I don't have to put pieces of paper together to get a 15-inch square. So let's just cut to a 15-inch square approximately. Did I mention I haven't done this before? You know, I just take my chances that it'll work. What I am going to do is I want to separate this into 9 pieces. So I'm going to be making some lines going down, 2 lines down and 2 lines across. But I want those lines to be at a slant. But I do want them to be straight lines. You know, you can use a ruler or a yardstick or whatever, but I'm just going to take my mat as my guide. And where's my marker? That should be right here. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at an angle like this, and I'm going to draw a line. And then I'm going to pull this out and make my line, I don't know, in the opposite wonkiness. Can we do that? Let's do that. Now let's go the other way and make some wonky lines. It might be very hard for you to see. Let me just darken those lines a little bit. Can you see that better? Yes, you can. It's just like making a tic-tac-toe board, but you want your lines to be on a slant. Now I am going to number these, so when I cut them, I'll know what order they go in, and I'll also know if they're upside down or not because of the number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9er. And now I'm going to cut. I am going to take scraps from my scrap pile, and I'm using a particular bunch of scraps that I put aside specifically for this series so that I know I'm always picking from the same fabrics so that the blocks look cohesive. And I'm just going to cut fabric using all these patterns. I'm going to go ahead and work on the center pieces first. So I'm going to be doing number 4, 5, and 6. Doesn't matter, but that's just the way I've decided to do it. Let's see. Could have some gingham right there. You want to make sure the right side of your fabric is up. Oh, look! This is my shirt that I'm wearing right now. You want to make sure that your fabric is right side up so that your piece will make sense. I'm just going to trim this like this for now. And I'm going to just pin this on. Now I wish I had my rotary cutter. It's upstairs. I just need to go get it. I don't know why I don't do that. And then for this guy, let's do... Oh, does this fit? Let's see. Ah, that's going to fit. So we're going to do this florally one. Okay, I'm going to cut my pieces out. I'm going to leave the number on it for now so I don't lose the orientation of that. I want to know what side is up. I am going to sew these three together. So I want to make sure that I don't get it screwed up. These two are going to get sewn right sides together. So I am going to remove the pins on this one and this one. And this is going to get sewn onto that, likey so. Now when you put your fabric, it's going to look weird because your fabric is not going to be even here, but that's okay. You want to match up that line, the cutting lines. And that's it. So we're just going to go sew right here. Just want to point out that thread color does not matter on a block like this because there is no top stitching. All the threads will be hidden. So it's a good time to use up odds and ends. Like I have some of this gold left on this bobbin from a previous project. So I just put a full bobbin in here because I don't like to change my bobbin thread midway through. But I don't mind changing my top thread. So I'm just going to use this as my top thread. Just because it's on a bobbin doesn't mean you can't put it on the top. Just put it on your little peg. And I'm going to use that and use it up. And then my bobbin will be empty. And then you don't have 1,000 bobbins with thread on them. So here's my two pieces that I'm going to sew together. I like to sew with my fabric to my left because then I can push it with my hand. All right, and I'm just going to stitch down this one side. I am going to press this flat to set it, and then I'm going to open, and in this case, I usually press to one side, and I probably still could, but just to make it less bulky, I think I will open it and press it open. I don't like taking extra time on things like that. Since we're going to only be dealing with a few seams, I did go ahead and press it open. I don't know if you can quite see that. Is this the way we were? No, see? I can check if I need to. This is number 4, number 5, and now we're putting number 6 on. Number 6, we'll take the pin out. It's going to go right here. See, and then when that opens up, we're going to have a wonky center row. Do not worry about it coming out even because we're going to have something covering the edges anyway. No pin necessary because I like to walk on the wild side, and we're just going to sew down. I'm doing probably like 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Whatever you do, just, try to be consistent throughout. Doesn't really matter. That's it. Let's go press. I just want to point out, see how we're kind of doing the same thing as a crazy quilt? Instead of just laying one piece in the center, we're laying a whole row down on our foundation. Now we're going to create the top row, and then we will come here and sew that on the foundation like a crazy quilt piece. We'll show you. Let's get started with that. So let's do number 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do all 9 pieces with different fabrics. So I'm going to pick something that I haven't used yet. There is my non-perfectly cut number 1. Now this is a stretchy fabric. So you know what I'm going to do? I'll take this time to show you how you can iron on some fusing on the back. So let me just cut a piece off here. So I have some fusing right here. You can find this at any fabric store, and you can even get some at Walmart. I'm going to find the bumpy side, and I want the bumpy side down. Paper upside down, bumpy side of Wonder Under upside down. And it doesn't have to be a perfect cut now. I'm just going to just cut around it. Just so that I know I have enough. And now I'm just putting the bumpy side of this Wonder Under right here on this fabric. It's okay that there's a little too much. I'm just going to take my iron and just iron this. Well, looky this. I got my little portable ironing board here. I think it's time to change the lighting. Hang on. Okay, I just have my iron. And I just iron to the back of this fusing. And that's it. This is no longer stretchy fabric. Oh, I don't like the lighting. I'm sorry that I keep changing my mind. I'm just being fussy. Okay, so now at this point we can go ahead and put our number 2, and there should be enough fusing behind there. And let's just cut. So we have number 1, number 2, and now we need to do a number 3. And we need a fabric we haven't used yet. Let's do some of the pink reptile. Also going to need some Wonder Under. I pressed it on. And now we're going to take the number 3, which way to make it fit. I'm gonna pick this up to cut. Number 1, number 2, number 3. I'm going to do the same thing. I will do it off camera. I am just going to take my paper off each of my blocks that I'm working on at the moment. This will go here. I will stitch. I will do the other one. Then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put those 2 rows together. I went ahead and finished all 3 rows. So let's just put these aside. And like I said, we're going to take our foundation piece. We're going to put our one piece here in the center. Let's just go ahead and see, you know, if we're in the right place here. There's going to be a...
Darlene,
what?
Tangled Bird is on channel 11.
We had a minor interruption there. My mother is watching PBS and they're just promoting some album or something, and they showed a tiny little clip of Engelbert, and oh my God, that's enough to make her get up off her chair and actually take running steps to tell me. She thought he was going to be on, but I had to explain to her. It was just a little preview of the record or the video that you can buy. A record, as if they still sell records. I'm going to start over because I don't know what I was telling you. We are going to be putting our pieces on this foundation like this. This is the top one, and this is the bottom one. Now I'm just doing it to see. I want to make sure that I'm spaced out evenly. So let's put this one up here. Let's move this guy up. Boy, we're just going to make it. Could have made my blocks a little bit bigger. So this, you know, I want it to go over the top of my foundation. So this is going to have to go up a little. I'm going to sew this like this and then flip it up. Does that make sense? And then I will come and do the same with this one. I will put it like this and then flip it down. So let's go try that. I'm going to put this guy on here. Follow the lines. I know it looks weird to have it crooked, but you just follow this line. I'm going to go sew right there. Almost nighttime now. Here we go. Aha! And because I have never done this before, I completely forgot that I could have lined up those 2 seams. But this is a crazy quilt, so I am certainly not going to lose sleep over that. And I won't. I promise I won't. Now this piece is going to go like so. And same thing. Just going to flip up. Should I try to match the seams this time? Or not? Maybe I shouldn't, just to make it be wonky too. I think I'm going to make them a little bit off kilter also, on purpose. And I forgot to turn the camera on, because I do that all the time. I did wonkify that a little bit more, so it totally looks like it's meant to be wonky. Now I'm going to turn this over and I am going to trim it down to 13 inches. I do see that I have a little bit of the foundation showing here, so I'm going to make sure that I trim this side so I can get rid of that. And now I'm going to go stitch all around close to the edge. With the camera on this time. And now let's see what we have. Oh, I love it. And this piece has nice wide open spots that lead itself to some interesting embellishment if you want to do some embellishing or some decorative stitching. I like it. And I really do like that the blocks are off kilter. Do I really, or am I lying? Would I have preferred them straight? I think I would have. But I have to remember this is a crazy quilt, so it is absolutely okay. It really, really is. I don't know why I'm considering this the bottom and this the top, but I'm showing it to you in that way. I really like it. I do. And it's different than some of the other blocks that I've made. I don't want all the blocks that go in this series to be just stripes or, lines. So this is good. I do like. All right, I am going to take some pictures and I will be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Just so you know, if you ever make a block like that and your intersections don't match up, you can always cover each intersection with a button, or you can actually sew some lace or ribbon down the lines and nobody would ever know that they weren't perfectly matched up. They're not supposed to be perfect anyway, so don't worry about it.